Hello everyone, greetings for the day and welcome to our today's session. This is Divya, I'm your course coordinator. In today's session, we're going to exclusively talk about the introduction to language and how is it helpful for our children. We have seen language as a system of symbols. When I say symbols, it's nothing but letters. When we group all these letters, they form words. When we group words, they form sentences. When we group sentences, they form paragraphs. That means it is helping me to work on my communication. Thereby, I definitely have a language or a medium to communicate my ideas, my feelings, everything that I'm going to be using. Now, what do we understand over here is like when I have these combinations of my sounds or these letters, which has been grouped into words or words into sentences, sentences into paragraph, what is predominantly that we are learning over here is like every letter has got a sound. And every letter has got a sound we understood. That means a word is nothing but a combination of multiple sounds, right? So to make it more easier, we're going to take in our language, what are these letters? How is it conventionally used? What are the different techniques and systematic strategies that we're going to be using so that we group them together or we blend them together to form a particular word? When everything is being grouped in a very nice way, we can also use some signs to encourage the children to remember the sounds. And thereby, we would be effectively be able to speak and we would be able to write. Okay, so that's going to be a very short concept of why we actually or why do we actually use these particular exercises in our children. Now, what we have always learned is like when children are born, when they come to our regular classes, what is one thing that we always work is on the language development, right? We never step into academics at the beginning, but rather we are very focused on introducing language to the children. Now, what we observe is when a child comes to our class, the child has got fully absorbed with his cultural language. Now, what is cultural language? The native language or the home spoken language. The child is only aware about their cultural language. That means he completely understands. When you construct or when you speak in that language, don't you think that the child will be able to connect with you very easily? How many of you will agree on that? We all agree on that, right? So we have for today the participants who are here. We have Annie, we have Shefali, we have Revati, Rupam, Shobha, Uma, Rekha, Swati. Then we have Monica, Lakshmi there. Then I do have Vasanta, Sonali, Shashita, Uma, Deepti, again Hamsa, I do have, and Neha. And many more students who have not connected online. So we do have Kavya as well. So what I wanted to understand from all of you is like, in case if I speak in my cultural language, can you connect to me better? How many of you are Kannada speaking here? How many of you understand Kannada? So many of you understand Kannada, right? So ನಾನು ಈ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ ಬೇಗ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಲ್ವಾ? You will be able to connect very easily. Telugu speaking people, ఇప్పుడు నేను తెలుగులో మాట్లాడితే మీతో ఎక్కువ మాట్లాడగలను. I will be able to even speak really well. Do I have any Tamilian here? Yes, I do have Shashita and I do have some more, right? So,
Yes,
yeah. நான் இப்போ தமிழ்ல பேசினா உங்களுக்கு நல்லா புரியுமா இல்ல கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சம் புரியுமா?
நல்லா புரியும்.
நல்லா புரியும் இல்லையா? So what is one thing is like I will be able to connect with you emotionally. How many of you are loved? I could see the smile when I started speaking in each one's personal language or the cultural language. You started to connect with me very well. ऐसी ही है ना? जब भी हम हमारे भाषा में बोलते हैं, you will start connecting to people very quickly. And this is something which is very important for us when we come down to our language development, because the child is able to pick up a cultural language so easily. And if you are a skilled teacher, if you're able to talk to the child in their language, the child will be able to connect with you better. Now, why should I give more importance to language? Now, are we blessed? to speak in so many languages? Because maybe I'm a South Indian, maybe I know only South Indian languages. Now, what if you ask me to talk in Odia or Bengali, I might not be able to talk or communicate. But since I know Hindi, maybe I can break those sentences and maybe I can pick up some of the catchy words and I would be able to relate. So I would be able to decode the words and I should be able to communicate. Now, can we have two people from different languages? Can I have two people from different languages? Please raise your hand. Maybe I'll pick Hamsa and maybe I'll pick Madhuri. Okay, Madhuri, where are you? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So Madhuri, you say a sentence in your language. Hamsa ma'am, you got to decode that.
Okay.
Okay.
In
Madhuri,
Hindi,
what language you talk? What language you talk? Not Hindi.
Marathi.
Okay.
Marathi.
Marathi. Okay, so we
Okay.
have our Madhuri. Madhuri talks to us in Marathi. One sentence, Madhuri. Hamsa ma'am, listen carefully. Yes, Madhuri.
Okay.
Go slow.
Okay. Hamsa ma'am, काय करायला?
Kai Karela. What you are do? Enna pandra? Hamsa ma'am, நீங்க என்ன பண்றீங்க? Correct?
What are you doing?
Yes.
We don't know the language, but we could still figure out. We would still be able to connect. Can I still have two more students who speak a different language? Not Hindi? No Hindi, because everybody understands Hindi here. So do we have anyone? Any other language? Yes, we have Swati. Yeah, can I have another volunteer, please? Please raise your hand, otherwise I'll have to put you on spotlight. Yes, we have Uma there. Yes, Uma.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, who's going to start
Telugu, ma'am.
first? Okay,
Telugu,
Uma
Telugu.
is going to talk to us in Telugu. And Swati, listen to her very carefully and decode me the words. Yes, Uma, you can go.
Hi, ఎలా ఉన్నారు?
Hi, how are you?
That's it.
The magic. Okay, so that means it's just a myth. People say, I don't know this language. There's nothing that we will not be able to attempt. We are human beings and God has given the enough processing ability. We have a wonderful brain and we would be able to decode. Still, if the languages are not able to be decodable, can we still connect with the emotions? Can we still say certain things? How are you? Did you eat? Do you want to drink something? So they will start listening to you very well. So that means we had adults, because you are all adults, you were able to connect easily with each one's gestures and emotions. But what about the children? Can they connect with us so easily? Maybe they might not. So that is one of the reason we give a lot of importance to language development. So when a child comes to your class, never be in an assumption that the child knows the language. Okay, never be in an assumption. If the child is speaking English, good. But there are many children who do not know English. That's absolutely okay. The child does not know. So what you need to first choose in your classroom is, what is your classroom medium of talking? What is the language that you use to speak in your school? Schools do have languages, right? So you choose English, you can choose Kannada, you can choose Hindi, whatever it could be, depending upon the period of your class that is being getting involved with. In case if I have a Kannada period, I try to communicate with the child in Kannada. If I have a Hindi period, I will talk to the child in Hindi. If I have an English period, I will try to communicate with the child in English. Now, why I'm going to be working over here is like, language is something very, very important. If I don't construct, or if I do not encourage the child to construct the language, the spoken language becomes very difficult. If the child cannot speak the language, it becomes very difficult for the child to write. Please remember, teachers, if the child is unable to speak, the child will definitely struggle in writing also. So that's the reason we always follow LSRW. How many of you know about this? LSRW. So listen more, speak more. Only then you'll be able to read. If you're able to do these three, you will fluently be able to write. So this is one of the skills that schools do follow. That's the reason we encourage you to read a lot of books. When you read a lot of books, what happens? The vocabulary of the child increases. So this will all come under your oral language development, okay? So anytime that you want to work a little bit more on your language, if you want to give a broad exposure to language, if you want to correct your child's pronunciation, if you want to work on your voice modulation, if you want to work on the enunciation, and if you want to introduce the different experiences of language, like telling stories, listening to stories, hearing stories, or saying stories, what happens? This is indirectly you're encouraging the child to work on language. Are you with me? Yes? So what should I do for this? In Montessori or in any other classes, you need to have an environment that is enriched with different kinds of learning. So I got to be preparing my environment. So as a teacher, I need to be very, very conscious. What is the subject that I have to introduce in my class? I need to be progressive. When I say progressive, I don't pick up everything together. There has to be a step-by-step learning. I show them the object, I introduce the word, then I bring other objects, I ask them to classify, then I ask them to go deeper in learning. So whenever we work on progressive learning, step-by-step learning, what happens? The child will start learning to communicate also. And you're also introducing them to organize, you're also helping them to classify. We will be able to see all these things. Okay, so my dear wonderful students, we begin with our first exercise in our language, which is going to be a foundational step towards my vocabulary development. When can a child be quiet? If the child does not know words. Okay, how many of you know Odia or Bengali speaking? Okay, okay. Swati knows Bengali. Pallavi knows Bengali. Okay. Pallavi, speak a line which is difficult for all of us to understand. Did anybody understand? What did she say?
What were
Yes?
you doing?
No? Yeah, we have Shefali. Shefali, yes. What did she say?
What were you doing?
What are you doing in the morning?
What are you doing in the morning? Okay. So in case if you know a little bit of Hindi and the other languages in the north, probably you will be able to decode. Otherwise, it's going to be really difficult for us to understand, right? So what I'm trying to work over here is like, why were you all quiet? Why could not you speak? Only why Shefali could raise? It's because you did not know the language. You did not know the words. So the child can also be quiet when we are talking. It's only because the child does not know to talk. There is not enough words. That means the child is not built on his or her vocabulary. That could be one of the reasons the child is being quiet in the class. So as teachers and parents, what we need to work over here is like, you need to give them formal vocabulary lessons. When I say formal vocabulary lessons, what do? I start introducing the names of different things. I introduce names. For example, if I'm working with my topic on fruit, maybe children know 3 or 4 fruits. Maybe they've only been introduced to apple, mango, banana. What if they don't know blueberries, cherries, raspberries, jackfruits, melons? They don't know. In that cases, what happens? I am introducing that object. I am introducing that fruit to the child. So anytime that I'm introducing the name, we call that as a first period, and that becomes my naming period. Correct, everybody? I'm introducing the name of an object. Then I bring 2 objects and I ask the child. So always remember, first period is always done in isolation. When I say isolation, one at a time. This is apple. Then I remove apple. Then I can say this is grape. Then I remove this, then I can say this is papaya, right? So it is done in isolation. So every object that you bring, you introduce to the child holds that object, feels the object, gets to understand the texture of it, the color of it, they understand a little bit more. So that means Anytime that I introduce an object from my environment, I am also working on the sensorial experience. Now, do you see an integration between our sensory exercises and this? So these are the first two lessons that we do. Whatever could be the object, pick it up and come and show it to me. Okay, now I will give you 1 minute. Around you, whatever is a different object. I'll give you 1 minute. Don't give me only stationery. Walk around, get me 5 objects. I'll give you 1 minute. Come on. Everybody go. Yes, get me 5 objects. Not your stationery, because it's very close by. I don't want you to only pick pen, pencil. Everybody's objects will be same then. Okay, so we have Tulsi here. Tulsi has got all the 5 objects. Yes, Tulsi, what are they?
Ma'am, this is elephant with wood, made
Okay.
up of wood.
Okay.
This is smell of candle stand.
Okay.
Spades.
Glasses. Okay.
And this is also doop stick stand.
Okay. So you have a doop stick stand.
This is Ganapati idol.
Okay, Ganapati idol. Now, could you see? Now, what happened here was like, now I can talk to her about elephant is a wild animal. And in case if I decorate the elephant, it becomes the Airavat. And to keep our room really fragrant, I might use certain sticks and I need to burn some candles. How do I burn it? Maybe she can actually show it. She also has an idol wherein we can actually pray, right? So we can pray to that particular idol. Now, what happened here was like, maybe everybody knew about it. There could be 1 or 2 in the group who did not know about something. Okay, so they would have picked up learning from that particular object. Now, can I have another volunteer, please, with 5 different objects? Yes, we have Shafali there. Yes. Yes, Shafali.
And this is cream, moisturizer cream.
Okay, that's a moisturizer. Now, do you see? You start talking about it. Children, this is moisturizer. We just take a pump of it onto our palm and then
Apply on
okay.
face.
Now, can everybody pretend play? This is moisturizer. We just take a pump of it. We're going to apply it on our hands. We can apply it on our face. We can apply it on our entire arms. We can apply on our body. Why we have to apply moisturizer, children? So that our skin will not be dry. Right? Now, did you learn something new today, children? Definitely, yes. We learned moisturizer and we learned how or what is the application of it. Thank you very much. Yes, Shafali, 1 more object, please.
So, this is lip balm.
Lip balm. Okay, now we have lip balm, children. Now, if at all, if you have your cracked lips, what should you do? You need to apply a lip balm. Okay, now everybody take a lip balm in your left palm. I'm going to take a little bit. Okay, you have to just take a bit of it or you have to just dab it. Okay, you just have to dab it. Now you're going to apply on both your lips. Okay, lower lip, upper lip. Then you're going to rub your lips. Everybody. Now, did we learn something here? We learned the upper lip. We learned the lower lip. We also learned about lip balm. Thank you, Shafali. Do we have any other object here?
Flower.
A different one? Yes, I have Rekha. Rekha is showing me something. Yes, Rekha.
Flower.
Oh, look at that. That's a flower vase, right? So what is the color of this vase?
Pink.
White, it's pink. The flowers are so beautiful. And we can see the flowers have bloomed. So I'm teaching here an action word of a bud being blooming, right? So this is also something that we actually learned it. Can I have another volunteer, please? Yes. I have Madhuri here. So Madhuri is showing me something. What is this?
Tree.
Yes. It's a wall hanging or a wall decorator, I could say. Now, can you see there's so many feathers hanging, children? Do we see some feathers there?
Yes, yes.
Yes. And what's the color of the feather?
Blue.
Purple.
Oh, purple. Now, how do we get purple color? When we mix what colors do we get purple?
Green and blue.
Green and blue. When we mix green and blue, we get purple. Now, do you want to see a purple color there? So we definitely have a purple color here. So we learned about wall hanging and we say it's a decorable and it is going to make our place very beautiful. We learned about the colors also. Now I do have another volunteer here. Yes, we have Rupam. Rupam is showing us globe. Okay, yes, Rupam. Okay, now children, we are going to learn something about globe. Can you rotate the globe, Rupam? That means we can say Earth can rotate on its axis. Why can the globe rotate? Because Earth can also rotate. Now keep rotating. Earth never stops rotating, no matter it is day, no matter it is night, it keeps rotating. And who is supporting? It's the axis. Now, what is separating my upper hemisphere and the lower hemisphere? Can you see the line there? Lupin, can you show me the center line? The center line on the globe, that's the equator. Now, can everybody see, children? I'm calling you as children, please don't mind. Can you see that there's a line, there's the imaginary line that is passing by? What is
Yes,
that?
ma'am.
That's my
Equator. Equator.
Who is equator? Equator is the imaginary line which separates both the hemispheres. Now, can you see the continents?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes, can you touch on Asia? We're all there on Asia. Can you touch on Asia, please?
Top.
There. So we stay where? In which continent? We stay in Asia. Now, do I have Europe? Do I have North America, South America, Africa? Yes. So how many continents are there? We have
Seven
seven
continents.
continents. Now, there are two things is what I said in sensorial. We have land and we have water. Now, can you show me water in the globe? Everything that is blue, that's water. Everything that is colorful, that's land. So our entire this thing is made up of two things. Landforms are land and water. Okay, and where are you staying? Are you staying on land or are you staying on water? And land. Then I can bring land animals. I can add on water animals. I can introduce topics of oceans. I can introduce topics of different landforms, like this is an island, this is a bay, right? So I should be able to go deeper into understanding and helping the children. Even in water forms, we have lakes, we have ponds, we have islands, right? So all those things I would be able to go a little deeper. So this is a beautiful conceptual of learning. This is, I'm not going into academics, right? We did not do anything academics. What did we randomly did? We picked objects from whatever was there around us and we started talking. Now, when you do this, this is not only helping me to work the content, but it also gives me a diversified learning. Each one has something new. So you can always ask children on every week to bring anything of their favorite from their home. So this is what we call in our literacy lessons as show and tell. You bring something from home, you show that, you speak a few lines about it, and then the teacher can add more value to it. And that's how you would start working on what? You start working on your vocabulary. So even in Montessori, this is our first exercise that we do. We pick objects from our environment and then we start teaching to children the names of each one of them. I might not go deeper. I might say this is globe, this is a wall hanging, then this is what else we learned? What else we did?
Globe.
Yeah, globe. Globe.
Then flower.
Flower. Yes. So we spoke
Cream,
about
lip
a
balm.
flower vase, right?
Lip balm.
Lip balm. Okay, so we spoke about this. Now, what I do here,
Moisturize cream.
right? I don't pick many things. Maybe I can take 5 objects. I collect all of them in a basket. I take one on isolation. Isolations means one at a time. Then I say, this is globe. This is lip balm. This is flower vase. So what did I do? I introduced the first period lesson to the child, wherein the child learned the names of it. Second period lesson is called the recall or the retention period, wherein I ask them, can you show me where's the lip balm? The child should point. The third period, I ask the name. So that's called my retention period, whether the child has understood or not. Can you tell me what is this? The child will have to give you the answer that this is flower vase. When I'm doing this, in the process of introducing, I go to my second lesson wherein I work on my sensorial relations. I touch the object, I smell that object, right? I work on how the teacher has been helped me to present this particular lessons. The child has seen, the child has touched, the child has learned through different senses. So that helps the child to actually learn a little bit more on that object. Now, when I had Rupam showing us the globe, if we were kids, everybody would have wanted to turn the globe, isn't it? And if I would have really got you a lip balm, maybe everybody would wanted to be dipping onto it, and everybody would wanted to apply onto their lip balms, right? So that is all learning through senses, because you're giving them an opportunity to explore that learning through their senses. Third thing, can I bring objects all the time to my class? It's very difficult, isn't it? Now, whatever topics that I want to bring, is it easy for me to bring? What do you say? Is it easy? Guys, come on, be interactive. It's an afternoon lesson. I'm feeling sleepy.
No, ma'am.
I am feeling sleepy. Now tell me, can I bring objects? And we have students who have just woken up, okay? Maybe they're just wanting a cup of coffee or something. Uma, I hope you had coffee. Okay. So what I
No,
wanted
ma'am.
to say here is, like, we can't bring objects every time. So what should I do as a replacement?
Flashcard, ma'am.
Yes, I can bring some cards. People say flashcards, but I put it in another word. I say picture cards. In Montessori, we add a term to it. We call it as classified cards. We don't say flashcards, picture cards. We call it as classified cards. Why do I say it as classified cards? Now you tell me. Why should I call it as classified cards? Or what is the definition for it? It is nothing but a card. It's a picture card. So if it's a picture card, what it will have? It will have a picture. And the picture cards can also have the name of that picture. We agree on that? It can have a name of that picture, correct? So I can either have this card wherein, say, just if I have apple picture, I can have the name of that picture being written on the card itself. Or I can have the picture card separate and I can have the label separate. Now, there are two ways of having these classified cards. A label being attached, a label being detached. I call this as a three-part card. Why is it a three-part? The first part is with the picture and this. The second part, this is separate, this is separate. So I would also have a tray in my Montessori. When I put this apple here, okay? So when I put this here, so what I should do? I have to pick a correspondent picture. I put it here. I take a correspondent label and I put it here. This is how I would introduce my Montessori three-part tray. You get a three-part. We call it as a three-part. This is my three-part tray. This is my three-part card. Every classified card comes in three parts. Okay, label attached, label detached. Now, what I can also have is, I can also have a supporting definition card to each one of them. Now, what if somebody doesn't know what's an apple? How do we explain what is an apple? How do you explain?
With color.
How do you explain what is an apple? To children, how would you explain?
Difficult.
Apple
Green
is
color. It's a eatable
in
tree.
red color and also in green color.
Okay, you talk about colors of apple, you talk it's an edible fruit, you can talk about anything else, you can see it's a fruit. Can we talk about its shape?
Yeah, it's in round
We
shape.
can talk about the shape of it. Can we talk about the sound that you get when you're eating?
Crunchy.
Crunchy, crispy. What about the flesh? If I'm eating, what about the flesh? It's very juicy.
Juicy.
Sweet.
Now, what am I indirectly
Sweet.
targeting? Am I not talking a lot more about the same fruit? Am I not introducing more vocabulary to the children?
Yes.
Am I not introducing a lot of other things, an opportunity for the child to explore? I can say, children, apple is typically round. I can say that. So the child understands, oh, it is round. Apples are round. Then I can say apples are crisp. Apples can be fleshy. Apples can be juicy. Apples can also be green. They come in varieties of colors. Some apples are yellow also, right? Or some of them have got a shade also. It's got a combination of red, green, and yellow also. And do they also come in different varieties? Ooty apple. What are the varieties of apples?
Kashmir apple.
Kashmir apple, Ooty apple, what
Simla
else?
apple.
Apple, yes. We can also talk about the varieties of apple. Now, can I also use them in my culinary, sorry, not culinary, sorry, culinary applications? Can I use in my culinary applications? What could be the skill that I will introduce? What would be the skill I would use here?
Cutting.
I take an apple. What are all the different culinary skills I can give it to my child here? Tell me.
How to use fork.
No, I can first tell them, children, eat. I will tell them eat raw. So they're going to eat the whole apple. Is that a skill?
Yes.
Eating is also skill, right? We agree? Strongly agree? Voting.
Yes, ma'am.
Agree, strongly agree. Okay. So we work on that. So that means eating is also one of my skill. Second thing, what if I slice it down? Slicing? Slice can also be a skill. What if I want to peel the skin of it? Peeling is also a skill. What if I want to use them in my salad? Can I also slice it? Yes, no? Yes. Now, where all can I use these? Where all can I use this? I can use in my salad. I can use in my desserts. I can use in my beverage. Apple milkshake, apple punch. Right? I can use in my beverages also. What about apple pie? If the child likes pie. What about jams? What about sauces? Don't we think that we're going to be using? Now just see, you're still working on a classified card saying this is apple. But what are we contributing to? We are contributing to vocabulary development, oral language development. When you show apple to the child, you can sing a song. What can you say? This is apple. Apples are round. Apples are crisp. Apples are juicy. Apples are with different colors. They come with red. They can be green. They can be yellow. I can eat them raw. I can slice them down. I can dice them. I can use them in my salads, desserts, beverages. So when you're teaching them, the child might find it difficult to say a word beverage. This is where you're going to also go a next step in helping them to syllabicate the word. What is syllabicating? Breaking the word. Can we say bear, were, rage? So I can split them. So child might start to learn to pronounce the word properly. So your skill is not only on teaching the vocabulary, but also the correct pronunciation. Okay, so this process is called syllabification in language. So syllabification is nothing but breaking a larger word into smaller chunks, which makes the child to read and write better, to pronounce better. So what you need to do, you got to go a little slow. You don't say beverages, you say beverages. Okay, so the child might start to pick up. And on that presentation day, whenever you have, maybe on a salad day, or you can also combine that with your EPL skill, you bring apple, you can work with all these exercises to your child. We're still working on fruit. The same thing, you can do that. And what I can do as an activity, can I bring into my classifications of fruits? What all can I add? I can add mangoes, cherries, then I can have strawberry, then I can have what else? Oranges, simple fruits, banana, grapes. Which you can allocate every child to bring one fruit that day. And every child is going to learn all this. Whatever fruit that the child has got, first, what will you do? Wash the fruit. You pat it dry. You will teach them to wash the fruit, to pat the fruit dry, to eat the fruit raw, to slice it. If it is required, to peel it. Okay, and chop it into dices. Then you can make a fruit salad. If you have permission at your school, you can bring some ice cream. Okay, you can add fruit into the ice cream, so that becomes your dessert. If at all, if you have a small kitchen in your school, and you can get your blender on that day, you can put some fruit and make a beverage. Give every child a little sip, 20 ml, 30 ml. How beautiful that's going to be. You've learned the entire skills of EPL. How do we peel? How do we pour? How do we smash? How do we thrash everything? How do we slice? How do we make a salad, and how do we eat it also? So all these things are something which is related to our preliminary skills. See how each thing is getting interrelated. So language is nothing but you bring everything together. You got to talk very effectively to our children. So this becomes my exercise that I do in my classification. Now coming down to this as classification, as I said, what I do here is like I bring a lot of picture cards. Now why I say classification is I have to separate my picture cards based on a classification. I can have fruits. It's fruit, okay, not fruits. I can have vegetables. Then what else could be? I can have, yeah, give me a lot of classifications.
Vehicles,
Shapes, animals,
birds, wild animals,
vehicles,
yes,
Flowers.
flowers,
flowers, yes, shapes,
vehicles,
Vehicles.
vehicles, yes,
Shapes.
numbers,
transport,
letters. See, you found so many. So all these things are separate trays for you, or you can keep them in separate bundles. Okay, so you classified them, you separated them. Now, what if I am combining
Divya ma'am,
of them? Yes.
I have some classic parts of fruits and vegetables.
Oh, please, yeah, you can show it to me. Yeah.
Can you see, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Yes. These are fruits, vegetable classification cards, which I made it for my class tomorrow's. Fruits, mixing it as a fruits and vegetables.
Okay, so what I wanted to add on over here is like she's gone to stage C. Okay, what is stage C? Stage A is you're introducing the picture. Stage B is you're introducing the picture and the label. You will say this is apple, this is mango, this is papaya. Okay, so fruit is introduced. Okay, so one part we have completed. Next, you will introduce the names of it. That is also completed. So the child is now comfortably good enough in identifying all the fruits. Then she goes for the next classification, vegetables. She will introduce tomato, cabbage, carrots, and all of that. The child is also able to identify vegetables. Now stage C, you will combine both. You will shuffle them. Now the child will have to classify or sort out whether this is a fruit or whether it is a vegetable. Now Shashita can ask questions by showing. What is this? This is a, yes. So she will show me the first picture. Shashita, where are you? Bacha? Where are you? Yeah. Shashita shows me here. What she shows me here is the first one. She shows apple. Now I can ask a question. Is apple a fruit or a vegetable?
this is a fruit.
Fruit. So where should I keep the fruit? Maybe you need to introduce them after stacking. Stacking is nothing but shuffling, and you would have stacked all the cards. So in classes, we don't hold all the things there. We can keep it on the table. One at a time you can show. Okay, so you have already stacked. So you can keep back your cards, other cards on the table, Shashita. Only take apple. Other cards, you keep it on table. So she is already shuffled and stacked. Now, apple is a fruit or a vegetable. She'll show a place where to position a fruit and where to position a vegetable. So if it's a fruit, where do we keep it? This side. Okay, to the right hand side of yours, you keep fruit. Right hand side, you keep fruit. Yeah, now take the next one. Yes. Next one is, we can't see. It's glaring.
Cabbage.
Cabbage. Cabbage is a fruit or a vegetable?
Vegetable.
So you keep it to the left hand side of yours. So you
Vegetable.
can help the children to sort and classify based on the cards. Okay?
And I have this also, ma'am.
Yes.
This is the fruit basket and this is the vegetable basket. I will be arranging first column. This is the vegetable basket and this is the fruit basket. Kids will arrange fruits in fruit side, vegetable in vegetable side.
Yes, lovely, lovely. You can do this. Why the cards are important? As I said before, every time you cannot bring fruit to the class, you can always encourage that by helping with the classified cards. Okay. Thank you, Shashita. That was a good presentation that you actually had it. Now, what I wanted to show to all of you is when we present these exercises, how do we present these exercises? Okay. So yeah, here we go. So you're able to get me right, guys?
Yeah.
You're able to get me
Yes,
right?
yes,
Okay,
yes, ma'am.
this is a stepping stone for our what I could say, for the language development. So if you're stuck here, it becomes a little difficult for all of us to understand. Okay. Okay, let me quickly go to the presentation of how exactly we do. So this is our first exercise. So we're going to be talking on enriching the vocabulary, that is through our classified cards. Now, can you see how the cards can be? The labels can be attached, the label can be detached. So two ways of practical exercises you can actually have. So we have understood one thing, that we use the cards to talk to children. We use the cards to show it to children, but we need to always make sure we should be able to classify them based on objects or concepts or ideas. Now, primarily, why do I do that? Because I want to work on the child's communication skills. Second thing, on the cognitive ability. What is cognitive ability? I keep asking, can you show me? Can you give me? Right? So every time that you question, the child is able to remember and their cognitive ability becomes better and better. And the child is also able to organize a lot of things. What is organizing? When I have mix of those cards, the child will be able to sort it out and they would be able to organize and keep them in a very sorted way. Now, what ages do I start? Right from preschool to elementary or early elementary, I can actually use these cards. Okay, now I have to be working on many characteristics. See, you have to work on the characteristics. Whenever you show the card to the child, Shashita, it is not only you talk about apple. You not only about you say this is apple, you have to talk about the color. You have to talk about the shape. You have to talk about the size. I have a big apple, I have a small apple. I can also talk about the parts of the apple. This is the skin, this is the pulp, this is the seed. I can also talk about the part of that apple. So I can go a little deeper later, but now it is only about the picture. But do not forget to talk about that particular object. Now, what I have to do over here when I would be introducing these conceptuals, whatever is my classification. Now here I have taken a classification of different parts of a plant and how the plant grows into different stages. Maybe we have seeds and seedling. Once it grows into a tiny plant, a big plant, it gives me fruits and flowers. I'm talking about that entire concept. So I do have 3 cards which has been laid out. Now I would repeat everything. The child is able to also understand. They are able to position when I ask questions also. Now further, I ask the child to observe all of them carefully. I can ask them to close their eyes and I can remove any one. These are all the other stages. Now, what do you think that the child is going to do? Ma'am, something is missing. Yes, what is missing? Did you see what was missing? If the child has not carefully observed, you will go back to the previous lesson and you'll see, this is fruit, tree, a flower, and a bud. Or you can keep everything in sequence. You can keep everything in sequence and then you can say something is missing. What is that? You can also work on these lessons. Or you can go on matching. Now, what is matching? I have a 3-part card, a label with a picture and a label picture without a label. The child should be able to match what goes together. This could also be one of my exercise that I am going to take it further. Later is what I can introduce labels. Shashita, to the next step, if you are working with the older children, you introduce labels. The moment you start introducing the labels, you have to also teach about the beginning letter sounds. Okay, it is just not saying that. You have to go on the beginning letter sounds. Apple, apple. What's the beginning sound? So you can always go with the beginning sounds. And then you can ask the child to match the picture and keep the correspondent label depending on my beginning letter sounds. This becomes one of my primary exercises when I introduce sounds to children. Now, what if I'm introducing writing? Can I still work on this? Because I said too early elementary. Now I don't give them, I ask them, you go to write the beginning letter sounds. What's the beginning letter sound of a seed or a sapling? It is, what's the beginning sound of bud? B. What's the beginning letter of a fruit? F. So I write F. Flower, F. Tree, T. Right? So you are trying to associate a picture to the beginning letter. Now, what have I taken support here? This is called movable alphabet. Movable alphabet are individual letters in Montessori, which is helping me to keep those letters when I have to work on my sound games, when I have to work on my letters, when I have to give the positions of a letter, which is a tall letter, which is a short letter. It is going to help me to identify. They come in different fonts, cursive fonts, print fonts. They come in different sizes on the school. Okay, so this is your movable alphabet. The other kind of a game that I can play with my classified cards is I would put everything upside down and you need to match. So I have to find the first one I've given. You need to flip over all others. You will find another one. Okay, if it is matching, you make a pair and you keep it to the side. So this is one of the exercise I can do. Not only this, any pictures you can collect. I can integrate that with my mystery bag also. I can integrate that with my mystery bag, which we did it in our sensorial lesson. All my musical instruments, if I have those tiny miniature objects, I put all of them in bag. Now, what do? I ask the child to match with the original images or the miniature ones with the label and the object. Not only with the pictures, but with these objects also. All these things can be my variations. Now, why I work over here is like, there's nothing that actually stops all of us in working with these exercises. It's only that how are you going to present your lessons? I think I have made the first lesson very clear. We have to bring objects from the environment. We have to introduce the names of it. We need to talk productively enough lines about those objects. Try to enrich the child's vocabulary. In this entire process, you give the objects to the child. Let the child hold and feel and learn the objects themselves. That's where you're integrating with learning with senses. Every time that the teacher will not be able to support objects from the environment. So depending upon your class activity, you bring picture cards. You introduce picture cards to the child, which we call it as a 3-part card in our lesson. Okay, so this is my classified card. Now, what if I want to go deeper? What if I want to go deeper? And if I want to learn more about that object, just like apple. Okay, now what can I learn more about apple? I can cut the apple into 2 halves. I can see that there's a tiny line. There are so many seeds. If I want to go deeper and learn about the part of it, that becomes even more better learning because I would be able to give new words, right? Now, say, for example, in case if I'm learning about my tree, what all can I teach about this? What all can I teach about this tree?
Parts of tree.
Branches.
What can I talk about? I can talk about branches.
Branches, leaves,
I can talk about leaves,
Trunk.
roots,
Trunk.
trunk,
Root.
Flower.
flower,
birds,
fruit. No, part of a plant is never a bird. It has to be a part of a plant. So I have taught them about the different parts of my tree. So what happens here is like, whenever you want to go a little bit more deeper, whenever you want to introduce a little bit more deeper, I will be working on something called as nomenclature cards. Okay, so what are nomenclature cards? This is one of the commonly used teaching tool in Montessori, wherein the child will be able to expand. I call this as nomenclature cards. Whenever we work on nomenclature cards, this is basically, it is helping me. Don't you think my vocabulary, instead of just being tree, don't you think I'm adding so many other words? Yes or no? So my vocabulary is also getting enriched. We're able to work on that vocabulary too, right? So what I'm working over here is like, it has to be related to the concepts from the natural world. When I say natural world, it has to be related to science. It has to be related to geography. That means mostly I pick topics from botany and zoology. Okay, something that has life. So what I would do here, again, the nomenclature card will have two parts. Okay, it will have a control card. What it will have? It will have a control card. Please note down, it will have a control card and it would have a matching card. Okay, it will have a matching card. These are the two cards that I'm going to be having. Now, when I have this, what I could do here is like, this is my control card. Okay, the first card, which will show me about all the parts. Now, when I have the matching cards, I will have similar cards. But if I'm teaching roots, only roots will be colored red. So I have to see here. Okay, I still have the same part. Okay, this is my root. So what is the thing that we're going to be working here? Don't you think that entire highlight was on this root? Because only this was colored. So am I not giving visual discrimination to a child here? When I'm saying root, it's difficult for me to identify where is root.
if it is
For the first time when I'm introducing, it's difficult, right? Children, look at the root here. Maybe one child saw, one child did not see, or the teacher was too quick to show, and the child just missed out. Now, what if I show them specifically this card, and I say them, look at the color red here. Okay, everything is colored red. So only the root is colored. Now, what if I have another picture where all the leaves are colored red? What is the highlight? Highlight is only on the leaves. So do I have visual discrimination?
Ma'am, I have the cards.
Yes. Who has the cards?
Even I do have the cards.
Okay, so we do have classified cards. Yes. Now take a look here. Whenever we have this thing, now say for example, in case if I take apple, and I cut the apple, this is something that we see here. Correct? Yes.
Oh,
Now, can you show? That's my entire card.
yes.
Now, what if I want to show a part of that? What is this called?
I'm so sorry, I'm not.
What is this called? You have to tell me the name also, Shweta. What is this called?
Apple.
No, it's not apple. Rika, it's not apple. We know it's apple, but when I've cut it, the highlighted part has got a name.
seed.
Seeds.
No.
No, it's not seeds also. What is it called? Shweta, can you explain?
Ma'am, this is, I think, core.
Huh?
Oh,
What is it that called? The center
this
part.
is stalk.
Correct.
Stalk.
Okay.
It's a-
To make it easier, so let
This
me
is
let me
flesh.
quickly. Yes, 1 second. To make it easier, she took apple, right? So I'm going to
Ma'am, I have a tree plant.
now. I'm just going to, because she's finishing that, right? So how was your apple? Can you show me, Shweta? Okay. So she's got one imaginary line here. Shweta, I think you have to remove your background. Okay.
Yeah,
There's something like this. And how many seeds? She's got 4 seeds here. Okay. Now she's going to, okay. Now what else is there? I do have, okay. So this is something that we do have here. So when I have this, maybe I can draw a thick outline here, right? If I'm drawing a thick outline in red color, can you see she has also drawn a thick outline? Everybody?
Yes.
When you draw a thick outline, what do I call the thick outline? It is the skin of an apple.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Correct? Yes. Better now, can you show me this part? Yeah, have you colored this part?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Can you see now she has colored this part of the apple? Now, what is that called? It's called the
Flesh.
flesh of an apple.
Pulp.
Flesh.
Yes, ma'am.
I can say flesh. Okay. Now see here, this is not colored. Can you go back to the flesh? The skin is not colored red. It's only the flesh that is colored red. Go back to your skin, Shweta. Show me both. Remove your backdrop. Yeah, instead of blur, make it
Ma'am, where can
change your
I
settings. Change your setting. I think your backdrop is little blurry.
Yes, yes, yes.
Make it normal. Remove the setting. Go to video settings. Filter. Virtual background. None.
Ma'am, where is that video setting? I'm searching that one.
Okay, never mind. Okay. Now just show me.
Next
For
one.
example, if I make my virtual background blur, okay, it becomes like this. Now Shweta setting and my settings. If I show something this side, you will not be able to see.
Yes, ma'am.
So your setting is that. So if I remove the virtual setting and keep it none, even if I keep it here, you should be able to see. Okay. That you figured that out. See, what I was trying to show is when you have the differences,
No,
the skin was colored in the first picture.
don't touch.
Second picture, if you notice, the skin was not colored. I wanted to only tell about this in nomenclature card. What you are going to introduce, only that needs to be colored. Can we have the next picture? Okay, now what is colored?
Seeds.
Seeds. So these 4 are our seeds. So this is our seeds. Next picture. Take it a little higher. Yeah.
Leaf.
What is that?
Leaf.
Leaf. Okay, so I have leaf. And then
This is core.
yes. No, this was leaf. What is the next one?
Core.
Core. Yeah, this part. Okay, whatever is this part, completely this part, that's the core of the apple.
It's okay to go.
Okay. Now, what is this one? This is the core of the apple.
Stalk.
This is my
Stalk.
half of the apple.
Ma'am, it's full. Stalk.
Yes, STALK, stalk. L is silent.
A stalk, right?
Yes. So I have this. Next, what is the next one? What is that imaginary line? What is that line called?
This is also stalk. The from top
That
to
is also called the stalk. Okay. So sometimes we also call this as an endocarp. We call also as an endocarp, but for the elementary, we don't teach. Sorry, for preschools, we don't teach so much. You only teach very few. This is leaf, this is stem, this is skin, this is flesh, this is seeds, and this is core. Okay. So for core, after eating, if your apple is like this, your apple will be like this now after you eat. So you can say this is the core. Ask them to eat an apple and they should be able to give you the different parts. Okay. So this is how you go deeper into your vocabulary. And how interesting was that?
yes.
Likewise, can we go deeper into every object and see what it is? Parts of different fruits parts of different flowers, parts of an animal, parts of a bird, parts of an insect. At least the child should know about it. Okay, so what is most commonly known to all of us? Parts of our body, right? So what we do first is we learn about our parts. Okay, so can we all do that? Everybody put your pencils down. Head, eyes, nose, mouth, teeth, tongue, cheeks, chin, ears, hair, eyebrows, eyelids, forehead. You're only talking about parts of your face, right? You're only talking about your face. Then we can actually work on your complete body. And you can always work on games. Touch your head. Touch your eyes. Touch your nose. Touch your ears. Pull your ear. Pull both your ears. Okay? Now again, do this. Dab on your nose. Okay? Throw a kiss. Very good. Kiss your brain. Okay, so you can always work on different things. So what happened here? We learned about parts of our body. And then you can slowly talk about my senses. I see with my eyes. Close your eyes. Can we see something? No, but when I open, I can see a flower. I close, I open, I can show them something new. I can see a toy. I close, I open, I can see a balloon. So teacher can prepare different activities and you can say that eyes are very important, children. It helps us to see. We see beautiful things all around us. Then you can play I Spy game. Okay, so you can always do, okay, so who is the spy in our class? It's me, and I spy Rekha. I spy Pallavi. I spy my webcam. So you can go and spy as many objects as possible. So you can create this exercise and let the children have everything in their mind. And they can come back to you and they can also tell about how many objects they spied in the class. And that's also going to help you to actually work, and you can go deeper into it and start learning the parts of it. Okay, so your nomenclature cards are pretty interesting for all of us because we help them to work on the visual discrimination, because I am coloring everything red over here. Okay, now did I have a control card? The child can actually go back to it and they can actually see it. So how do I work on the presentation? Similar to however I had. Right? So similar to however I had, I started introducing all my nomenclature cards. Now what I could work over here is like, since I said it's going to be a 3-part card for me, I have to also work in the same way, correct? So what do I work over here? I can bring anything. Now say I was so interested in introducing a bug to my class. Okay, so I took a ladybug because most of the children do love ladybugs. So you have a card attached and you have a card detached. So we have learnt about it. Now, if the child does not know what is a ladybug, you should have a definition card. What is a ladybug? It's an insect. Well, how long is it? 1/4 inch. What is the shape of it? It can be round, it can be oval. What is the color of it? Usually it has got very bright colors. Now, what color have I colored? Red here. Okay, so I give a small definition to it. Now, what I'm going to be working over here is like, if I have a 2-spotted beetle, I can bring that to my class and I can show them the real object. If I'm blessed to get a beetle and show it to them, it's really good. If I don't have it, I can just show them. Now, what am I interested to teach here? The part of that. I have to teach the parts of a ladybug. You can pick anything, parts of a frog, parts of a cow, parts of a human body, parts of a plant, parts of a tree, anything you can pick. But what you need to always remember here is it should be related to geographical parameters, geometrical parameters, or biological. When I say biological, anything that has life. It can be related to botany. It can be related to zoology also. Okay. Now we are going to the parts of it. Part of a bug, the upper portion which I've colored is called elytra. Next, I go and help the child to understand about the spots. Okay, children, these are the spots. Can you see the spots there? Only red color I have spotted here. Can you all see here? Only the red color has been spotted here. What is the spot?
Red color.
Red color. Why does the ladybug have spots? If I'm working with children of 5 years, I tell them, children, that's a warning sign that they get. If the bugs see any predators, they can smell bad. They can, if they bite them or if they want to eat them, they can be poisonous also. Okay, so that's the reason they do have spots. Now, as a preparatory exercise, what should I have? I should have a ladybug card and I should have all my label cards. Okay, now I can match the parts to it. Where is the wing? Show the wing. Where are the spots? Where's the abdomen? Where is elytra? So I could help the children to keep the parts of that ladybug also. Are you with me? Is this going to help us to work on it? The child is learning the parts of it. Likewise, I can go with parts of ant. Likewise, I can go with parts of butterfly, trees, frog, whatever. You can choose. It's up to you. But one thing which is important for us is like you have to color all of them red. Whatever the part that you're going to be introducing, you will be coloring that part red color. Clear, all of us? Okay. Now, what did we do? This is all a part of our oral education. We're still not learning letters. We're still not learning words. We're still not learning the blending techniques. We are only orally talking to the child, wherein we are enriching the vocabulary. Now, what could be my last one? I don't have anything. But still, can I still talk and say something? Okay. Can I still talk and say something? Okay. Maybe I can invite somebody. Can you tell me something which is very famous at your place? One thing which is very famous at your place. Can I have anybody raising a hand to talk about something? Yes. Shweta? Yes. What is famous at your place?
Fort.
Food.
Fort.
Fort. Okay. Where are you basically from?
Chitradurga.
Chitradurga. Okay. So we are talking about Chitradurga. Chitradurga is what?
The district which is in Karnataka.
Chitradurga is a district, okay, which is in
Karnataka state.
Karnataka, okay. So it is a district. Where is it? In Karnataka state. Okay, so it is in Karnataka state, yes. So what are you going to talk about?
The famous fort.
Okay.
In Chitradurga. In this history means like one of the kings not.
Chitradurga is a famous part of this one.
Okay, so you see what you can always, what she's saying, tell it like a story, Baba.
Okay.
Not noting down. Because none of us know about it, right? I'm writing to connect to your points.
Onake Obava irtare. Hyder Ali was attacked that fort. She is the lady who hit all the soldiers of Hyder Ali to protect the fort.
Okay, so here she's talking about a fort. Okay, so we are talking about a fort here. And she's talking about a lady, Onake Obava. And she said, this lady Obava fought with Hyder Ali.
Hyder Ali soldiers.
Hyder Ali soldiers to protect the fort. Okay, so how many of you knew about it? How did she attack, Shweta?
She is the only lady who's in that area. All the king soldiers they went to eat the food. They went to eat. She's go down to bring some water. That time she heard a whisper of Hyder Ali soldiers. They are planning to attack. They attacked the fort in some small place which can't able to see the king soldiers. She knew that she knew that point and she didn't call because all the soldiers were having a food. So she herself go to her home and bring onaki. She stand near the place and she started eating. Everyone said who came to enter the fort. That for that reason, that fort was famous.
For that reason, that fort was very famous, right? So what we can introduce over here, like what did you guys learn here? You learned about what I could say is like, on safeguarding the kingdom, safeguarding the fort, how loyal was she, and how brave that woman was, right? So we will be able to talk about a lot of things. So many of you, we understood that it is a cultural heritage space, correct? So it's renowned for its grand architecture. We know it has got a historical significance. Why Chitradurga is very, very famous? This could be because of fort. It could be because of Odeke Obava, as she said. And that's one of the example also. And we also know about the location. It's in the southern part of Karnataka. And we can also talk about the architecture. So it is built, since she said it's fort, mostly the forts are built with what? They build with massive stone structures, right? So which could be on a series of hills and valleys and other things, correct? So we do not have this concentric walls and gates and all of that, but they have all these natural rocks which is getting interlocked with all of that. So why I was saying all this is because anytime that you go to the southern part of India, and if you visit Karnataka, and if you're very close to this district of Chitradurga, you can visit this fort, right? So we got a lot of information about this. Maybe Shweta did not introduce this particular topic in a very nice way. That's why we could not connect very well. But what if you were a storyteller? What if one of you were a storyteller here? Can somebody tell something about their place with so much of passion and enthusiasm? We'll be able to see the difference. Do I have somebody here? Talk more about whatever you like, whichever place that you went. I went here, I saw here. Just see how children speak when they go to zoo or something, when they come back. They have so much of enthusiasm to share that. None of you are able to express that. I need that for the social, this thing. Okay, how many of you recently went for a holiday? Yes, Kavya. Yes. Kavya, now tell me about that place. We will all plan up for a vacation sooner there. To tell in such a way that you should all love to go there. Yes, Kavya, tell me. Unmute.
Sikkim trip, ma'am.
Okay, so Kavya went to Sikkim. Okay.
Can you hear?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, it's very nice place, ma'am. It's budget friendly trip. Actually, we didn't go by flight, ma'am, because we were more than 19 people. So we went by train. So it's budget friendly. We visit Gangtok, Sikkim, North Sikkim, South, and all. It was very nice. It's full of greenery. There, and it's very cold place also, ma'am. It's very cold there.
You tell to your friends, we're all going. It's not only me, all of us are going. Maybe after this course, we should all plan.
Explain about the food, ma'am. Explain about the food type and what are all you purchase there. What is special there?
See, one thing, guys, one thing that you need to start is like, see, for example, in case if I would have gone to this particular place, I'll say, guys, first of all, when we are going for this trip now, entire team should go. Only then we will have a lot of fun. Agree? How many of you are coming? All of us, right? After the course, we're all going. Okay, promise me on that. Okay, so what we're going to do here is like, I need to encourage in my words so that, everybody gets attracted. I went to this particular place, Sikkim, it was super fun. And it will be fun only when we go in a gang. And trust me, because we went in a gang, we had a lot of fun. But again, it hit us on the budget, yeah. Flight I could not afford. So many of us were there and we actually took up a train. And the train, and since 19 of us were there, we did not even realize. Maybe we should try that. And then she can talk more on the reservation of the train, the ticket fare, how do we get it, what kind of a class that I need to work on. And then she's also talking about, see, if we go there, I should go to Gangtok. What is there in Gangtok? Tell me, you remember?
Shopping, ma'am.
Lot of shopping. Okay, guys, we can do a lot of shopping.
Good for. Yeah, it's not good. Food,
Okay.
food is not good.
Food is not good.
Good.
Okay, guys, we don't have power. Just to interrupt, we don't have power since morning. My system can shut down at any time. In case if you're shutting down, we're continuing on Thursday. Okay, so we'll go till the 0 power. Another 10 minutes is what I have. Yes, continue.
Ma'am, in Gangtok, we went for also. Actually, there we enjoyed a lot. Singing, group dance and all. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, we can.
Can you hear?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
It was very nice, and we met some soldiers also there. They're very tall, man. If we stand in front of them, we all 95 look very small and like child. And so nice, man.
Okay. Now, did we at least get a little bit of that experience going in the train? And did we visualize all of us going in the going for Sikkim? And she said it's very cold. How many of you thought about your winter clothes? How many of you thought about your warmers? How many of you thought about your boots? Many of us, right? So we're like, okay, we are planning for the trip. And she said it's very cold. Okay, maybe I have to plan up for this. And then she said a lot of greenery. So how many of you would choose clothes? A lot of greenery, yeah? Maybe I have to pick clothes which will complement for my photography also. And in a group, always we would have a friend who will take care about the dress codes, where everybody should come in this dress code. We should be eating this. Everybody will have a financial controller when we go in a group, right? So all those things, we will have to go on a budget. So why I was sharing all this is, not many times I can bring pictures about Sikkim and other things. I can bring people to talk about that place. Or in our class also, we can only discuss. Most of the time, 70% of our class exercises happen on discussions. We agree on that? So as a teacher, what you need to work over here is like, you need to be working on something called as social relations. You need to work on social relations. So how can you connect to your class? How can you connect to your students through your speech? You need to be a storyteller yourself to narrate beautifully about that particular place. Okay, so what you do here, say for example, in case if you are wanting to visit to a museum, you can always give a heads up. Children, on Friday, we are going to museum. We're going to see a lot of things over there. Okay, so we have to first buy ticket, children. So when we are buying ticket, we need to have our ID card. So nobody should forget about the ID card. So what happens? The child is remembering, okay, I need to have my ID card. We need to bring some change. 20 rupees is the ticket. We need to stand, buy the ticket, show the ticket at the entrance to the ticket collector. Then only we enter. Right? And there also, when we get inside, we can't litter everywhere, right? So whatever we are eating and other things, we have to put all that trash into the can. We see different things. So as teacher, when you start explaining about that to the child, scene by scene, the child will be able to get it into their minds. So this covers our oral language exercise. So we started with objects from my environment. We worked on sensorial exercises. We worked on our picture cards, that is considered to be as our classified cards. Then slowly we went into our nomenclature cards, and at last we came down to social relations. All these are the first 5 exercises, which is contributing towards my vocabulary enrichment. Okay, I am helping the child to work more on the child's vocabulary. These are the 5 exercises that you need to follow for oral education. Okay, so in the next class, again for the oral education, there are certain other things which you need to get yourself trained. You need to get yourself trained. Now, in what? You need to be a skilled teacher to sing. You need to be a storyteller. You need to be a good theater artist. You need to be able to create role plays for your child. You should be able to organize events, right? So all these things will help your child to master the language skills. When the child sings, they become better. When the child recites poems, the child becomes better. When the child is able to say lines, the child is speaking properly. So that means, what am I training? I am training my language. All this time, I was the only one who was talking. Now I will make my students to get trained in the language development. So we always start with broken English. Okay. Do you want to come, children? Yes, ma'am. Who all want to come? My also, my also. Has anybody heard this? Children saying? They always
Most of the time.
right? Most of the time they say, ma'am, my also will come, my also, my also. Then what happens? You need to start correcting that. So you will start training. Oh, you also would like to come. I will also come. I also will come. You will also come. So what happens here? You're indirectly helping the child to construct the language better. Can you keep this there? Yes, ma'am. Can you keep this on the red table? Yes, ma'am. So you're working on actions. So verbs are getting introduced. Can you keep it on the table? On positional words. Can you keep it on the red table? Red adjective, right? So you're trying to work on parts of speech. So whenever you're working on your spoken language skills, you need to always ensure you use as many parts of speech as possible so that the child gets into the right, correct spoken language. Okay, so that's our today's session. So I think we are almost on time. So we have still 2 minutes. My battery has also got another 5 more minutes. So anything that you wanted to share about today's session, over to you. Is anybody wants to share something? Yes. What was that you liked quickly? Everybody onto the gallery mode, please. Padma, Padmini, Rupa, all of you. Yes. What was that which helped you to understand, or what was something that was different that you learned today? I think everybody knows about all of this because we're all preschool teachers and we do have, yeah. Quickly, 1 more minute I have.
One doubt, ma'am.
Yes.
For making pronunciation, you have to split the 3 languages.
We have to split what?
Splitting the 3 or breaking language.
See, that you don't have to worry, Rekha. Now we are not working on syllabification. So that's a different part. If the child is not able to say, for example, if I ask everybody to say Himalayas, everybody say Himalayas? Okay, so maybe 1 or 2 children in my class, they cannot say. For them, I go a little slow. Himalayas. Okay, so that's how I would introduce them to speak. That process is called syllabification, wherein you break words. Otherwise, it's not necessary.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Yes, quickly.
Ma'am,
Yes.
when you are introducing child alphabet, so what are the first initial step to introduce alphabet?
We have not spoken about that. The initial step to introduce the letter is related to the pre-writing skill. I need to first check whether the child is able to hold the pencil. If the child's muscular skill is not good, I don't encourage. That is when I give them pre-writing skill exercises to trace something, to do an A tracing, to do a sand letter tracing, to do a sand writing tracing. Give them a lot of controlling activities which will strengthen the hand muscles. Then I would teach them patterns. What are the different lines and curves that is got involved into making a letter? Say, for example, if letter A, I have a slanting line, right slanting, left slanting, and a sleeping line. So the child should be able to make that according to the directions. Then only I'll be able to introduce. After that, I will help them to construct that letter, then encourage them to write.
One thing, is it right? What I know means I have read that in Montessori we start with cursive. Is it two or correct me,
We
ma'am?
can begin. It is not that Montessori also gives you different fonts. Okay, I don't say fonts, different prints. So you can go with a print font or you can go with a cursive font. It totally depends with the school. If the school wants to initiate cursive, they will have to choose movable alphabets, then sandy letters, everything cursive. If the school has decided to go with the print font, the school will choose uppercase, lowercase, everything in the print font. No cursive. It's totally on that. Anything?
Ma'am, how to encourage them to sing a rhyme?
How to encourage them to sing rhyme?
Yes.
How to encourage? Always start with classics. They have heard many times. So everybody, come on, Jack and Jill, quickly. Jack and Jill went up the hill.
Went up the hill.
Fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down.
Jack fell down.
Broke his crown.
Broke his crown.
Jill came tumbling after.
Jill came tumbling after.
Now a little faster. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown. Jill came tumbling after. Little bit more faster. Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down, broke his head, came tumbling after. They might not sing, but they all participated. Every day they start getting. So there has to be repetition. If you sing rhyme today and tomorrow, if you forget, the child will also forget. So have continuous repetition. They should be able to sing. Okay. So when I say we, everybody say we.
We
are
a
family, learning, reading,
feeding,
writing,
together,
eating,
on,
Zoom. Learning,
learning,
and growing together. With love. So we are family. Yeah. Then you can say living, playing, growing, hoping, dreaming, whatever you want, you say. So encourage words, and that becomes songs. Songs, the more you introduce them to talk, initiate, put a hand out. Whoever sings, put a hand to them first. So when they are giving you back, then another one. Slow, cut. Even the speech, you can always convert it like singing and then sing. We are a family, living, growing, singing, whatever tune you want. I'm not a singer, so my tunes are very bad. So you can always sing, because singing should be your happy yantra or mantra, whatever you want to call. Okay, so when you're working with preschool children. Yes, Padma ma'am.
Ma'am, I want to ask a question. Sorry. As a toddler group teacher, how to control a kid, too much crying kid, how to control?
Crying child.
Yes, the crying child.
Okay, what is the language that the child talks?